New year, same news. What up, viewers? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, January 6th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week, video game news. Happy New Year, and I hope you had a lovely holiday, as I did, and I was very thankful for taking some time off. But now we got to jump in and talk about video game news. The first big thing this week was a teaser trailer, just a minute long, talking about how this year we will have Payday 3. It has been 10 years since the last Payday game came out, and I think that the developers, Starbreeze, the developer of Payday, I don't quite remember. I bet they are excited to see what they've learned in the past decade. To see, everyone else has kind of been copying the Payday formula. Any heist game has kind of been living in the shadow of Payday, so it'll be interesting to see how the developers can kind of bring something new and innovative to the heist genre. I'm pretty excited for it, and I'm looking forward to, as always, I like playing co-op games with my friends, so hopefully we get to see more this year around the upcoming Payday 3. Moving right along, talking about rumors about games coming out. That is all that the games industry is during the month of January, although we've got quite a busy first 2 quarters of the year. But rumor is that Redfall, Arcane's co-op 4-player shooter, vampire Left 4 Dead like, is coming in May. That makes a little bit of sense, or that makes a lot of sense in that last year at Microsoft's E3 presentation, they talked about most of the games that they were going to be discussing would come out within a year of that presentation, and since that was in June and Redfall was talked about, it makes sense that it's coming out in May. So they are technically right in that it is less than a year since they talked about it last, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's quite a few big gaps. I mean, we got to watch out for Tears of the Kingdom and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but otherwise May is looking pretty open. So I bet they fall in before. You probably want to come out before the sequel to the biggest Switch game of all time, rather than after. So I bet they come in maybe before that, or maybe even mid April. So we'll have to see what that's all about. This week is also CES. I swear CES has been, the Consumer Electronics Show has been moving forward more and more in the year. And now it's just like New Year's week is when CES is. So Razer was at CES, and they talked about have an official launch date for their Steam Deck the Razer Edge. It'll launch at $400, and that is on January 26th. So just a few short weeks away. I saw a little demo on PC Gamer where they actually got hands-on and played with it a little bit. The controllers look a little bit wonky, how you kind of like pull them off and you can fold them back, or you just kind of have the screen, the 7-inch screen or 6.8-inch screen, I think. Yeah, it looked a little weird. Kind of looked like a bunch of pieces trunked together to like make a deck as opposed to one full unit. Maybe that's what people want, is they don't want detachable things. Although that's kind of like how I mean, my Switch kind of sits there with controllers on the side all of it anyway. But yeah, I'm just kind of, it looked a little bit jankier than like the Switch railing system, or the Steam Deck being one kind of complete tablet. But people, you might want to be able to play touchscreen games and detach the controllers and put them away. So I can see what they're going for. They're also coming in a little bit under the Steam Deck's lowest price. I think the lowest version of the Steam Deck was like $450. So they're coming in a little bit lower than that. So for anybody who hasn't purchased one yet, they might get this one because it's a little bit cheaper. And it can play Game Pass as well as Steam games. So they might have a little bit of an edge there. No pun intended. So yeah, I'm pretty interested. I really want to get my hands on this before I make any more decisions. But I already have a Steam Deck and I really like it. So I don't know that I would jump ship or anything like that. But pretty interested to see what it's like once I get hands on, if I ever do. So it'll be cool to check that out at the end of this month. Moving right along, talking about games that we don't know much about. We got some information from Naughty Dog about the Last of Us multiplayer spinoff that they've been working on. It's going to be related. If we remember right, it's going to have something to do with the Fireflies and kind of the two factions. I remember my cousin who played a lot of the first Last of Us really liked the multiplayer mode and kind of missed it in the second one. I thought it was a little bare bones, if I'm remembering correctly. So it'd be kind of cool to see what they do with a full spin-off and like put some real effort into it to kind of see what the multiplayer mode's all about for The Last of Us. So interested to get more details on that. Sony was also at CES and had a bunch of stuff to talk about, including the fact that they have sold 30 million units. So that's an awesome, or at least I think, was that 30 million units in December alone or overall? Because that seems pretty shy for overall sales. But I know that they've been hit with a lot of supply constraints as people have still been struggling to get hold of one. So yeah. Also, the CEO of Sony said, Jim Ryan said that that PlayStation 5s will be more readily available in the coming months, which thankfully they did that in the holiday season, so I could see that contributing to their success. Um, but yeah, 30 million units, that's quite a lot. I bet if they had been more readily available, they would have sold more. But yeah, that is neither here nor there, and hopefully we start to see some on the shelves for general consumers to pick up. So PlayStation also talked about Project Leonardo, which is awesome. It's an accessibility controller. They've finally come up with their own version of kind of Microsoft solution for accessibility controller. It's kind of this wheel, and you can interchange buttons and kind of break pieces off of it as depending on the needs of the player. But yeah, it's really cool to see kind of Sony jump into the ring and figure out their own solution to accessibility. They've had a lot of their developers have had really innovative um, means for approaching the subject of accessibility. And so I think it's very, very cool that they've now got a hardware solution for that as well. So awesome to see that Project Leonardo is being worked on, and that we can get more details soon. Because when more people play, it's a good thing. So looking forward to getting more details on that. Wizards of the Coast does not seem to be doing too well in the games department. I know that they've been working on a bunch of games in the background, but they canceled 5 games this week. Well, I think it's 4 games. I think saying 5 and saying the studios that got their games canceled triggered something like there was confusion. Maybe there wasn't. So I don't have all the details on that, but 5 of the games that Wizards of the Coast was working on have been, or 4 of the games have been canceled. See, much confusion. So it'll be interesting to see, because I know they've been building out their games division for quite some time. I had a couple friends that went up there to be part of their games division, so I'll have to reach out to them to see what's going on there. But yeah, it looks like they're drastically cutting back their games division. I'm curious if any of this has to do with some of the Magic controversy, or what they're doing with D&D 1 and how that licensing works. So it'll be really interesting to see what's going on there. I still want to see some Wizards of the Coast IP get turned into virtual worlds that I can explore. But it looks like that's been significantly curtailed. So I'll be interested to see what's going on there. Also coming out of CES, and not quite games related, but still near and dear to my heart, BMW had a whole commercial and presentation about color changing cars, and what the technology, what the car of the future might look like, and how you can interact with it. The prototype looked very bare bones, which I know that a lot of like the future is very minimalistic, which is what they're going for, and I think people still want kind of more in their cars, just more things to draw your eye. But the big thing was like the color changing car, and how you can change it. I don't remember exactly what the technology was about e-ink and how that kind of works, but being able to change your car to be whatever you want. I saw a little bit of a dystopic future where like YouTubers and influencers had their logos on the side of cars, and this kind of leads into like BMW's trying to get into the subscription fee. I remember that being a whole issue where they want you to pay a subscription fee for your heat seaters, or your butt warmers or whatever. So it'll be really interesting how they monetize changing your car's appearance, which is something I know that they have been trying to get into. So yeah, I think the idea of changing your car is pretty awesome. You can change it on a whim. but I see a little bit of the seedy underbelly of it too. So be very cool, very interesting to see what the car of the future looks like. Or do you even own it? But I digress. Um, Dungeons and Dragons is celebrating its 50 years, which is crazy. I mean, yeah, just crazy that Dungeons and Dragons have been around for 50 years. The IP proper has been around for that long. Um, Lego is getting in on the treatment, and I love Lego as well. And as someone who has designed many a character representation for using Legos in my D&D games, this is near and dear to my heart. There is a D&D Lego set. So someone in the Lego has the kind of submission process where you can kind of submit your own kind of Lego design, and they'll turn it into a set. And someone made one for Dungeons and Dragons, and it got picked up, and so it's going to be turned into an actual Lego set. So I wonder if there's any tie-ins with the movies or how they're going to work, and especially since we just talked about the IPs over at Wizards of the Coast and what they're doing with them. It'll be interesting how they kind of brand that with Lego. But it's being worked on, so hopefully we get a Dungeons and Dragons Lego set this year. The one I saw looked pretty cool, like a dragon, and there's beholders and lots of other really cool stuff going on there. So looking forward to that. And last but not least for this week, again, we're talking about games that are kind of coming out. That's what people are talking about. I saw a good list of indie games coming to PlayStation this month, including Power Wash Simulator, as well as a game I'm very much looking forward to, We Were Here Forever. This is the fourth game in the We Were Here series that me and Angela play every single one of them. I'm looking forward to this one. I don't quite remember what the story is in all the We Were Here games, but very good cooperative puzzles and very fun to play with a significant other. So very much looking forward to We Were Here Forever coming out later this month at the end on January 31st. But that's all the news for this week. If you feel I forgot anything, feel free to leave a comment down below. Always happy to chat news either there or in my Discord. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye. Just as a quick aside, I will be out of the state for the next few weeks, so I will not be able to deliver videos of the news. I might still do news reports and just send the email out, but I will not be able to make a video for you guys. So hopefully you still appreciate the emails for those of you who read the emails, and looking forward to getting back into this. Check out. Still hoping to look at. I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff this month, but I'll be doing some traveling as well as we do Christmas in New York. But thanks.